Hey everyone, it's Kirk McLean here, and you're watching Clay's Canucks Commentary.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary Live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I'm your host, Clay Emo Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take for Sunday night, December the 7th. Hope you are well. Hope you had a good weekend. Mine was great. Thank you for asking. I'll do a quick rundown on the weekend, a quick rundown of the two Canucks games that we saw, and then we're going to talk about Quinn Hughes, because a lot of Quinn Hughes chatter taking place over the last couple of weeks, and especially amplified over the weekend, but we'll get to that in a second. Moderators, do what you need to do to keep this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's Legends, Hall of Fame, and franchise members, thanks for your support. And to everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether my beautiful neighborhood of Steveston, Richmond, in the city, in the province, in the Lower Mainland, whether my beautiful city of neighborhood of Steveston, in Richmond, in the city, Lower Mainland, province, country, continent, around the world. Thank you for being here. You know that I know that you could be doing anything else, watching anyone else, getting ready for work, school, or bed, or all three. But the fact that you're here with me, know how much I always appreciate you, know how much I never, ever take you for granted. Never, ever, ever, ever. So this is how you get involved tonight. Subscribe to the channel, get active in the chat section, get notified of my videos. You can like the video, like the fact that's the start of another week. Some people don't like that, but I like it. I like Sundays because it leads to Monday, and gonna attack this work week. Like the fact that we're together, like the fact that the Canucks won last night, that the fact that Aturatu and Nikita Tolpila and Tom Verlander and D. Peter are awesome. I like the fact that we are continuing to build an awesome community here on YouTube. You can leave a donation, get the donation train out of the station. You can gift a membership. You can buy a membership. You can use your monthly membership message. You can upgrade your membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, you can rate and review. So I see people in here like Gerald, Fangirl, JK, Lucas, Bobby Ray, Simon, Irwin, Irvin. Fangirl is in here. Yeah, I already had a Loopy Clay already. And then, Snap Dancer is indeed Irwin. For sure. Got a chance to hang out with Irwin at the Canucks game on Friday. Too bad we didn't see a win. Brett's here, which is cool. I think Rain was in here earlier. Dino was in here. Awesome. Happy to see Tom Clayman, of course. Jessica's in here. Awesome. All my favorites are in here tonight. I'm happy to see all of you. So let's talk about my weekend really quickly. Friday night, I was at the Canucks versus Utah game. Saw Irwin, saw Ian, saw Jonathan, saw so many people at that game. I had a lot of friends as well at that game because of the Filipino Heritage Night. And the game itself, Canucks played well enough to win for sure. They controlled the game, but no finish, no traffic around the net, despite playing well, and Utah won that one quite easily, 4-1. Then, the game I don't watch a minute of because I'm out for dinner with my best friends, nice Italian restaurant in New West, and then we saw the Hidden Wonder Speakeasy Magic Show, my second time seeing it. Sean Farquhar, look him up, love him. He's fooled Penn and Teller twice, 2 out of the 3 times he was on that show. And it was a great, great show. The 6 of us, Gail and me, and 2 other couples, and Gail was on the stage. It was pretty cool. So that was a really, really fun night. Blown away by some of the tricks for sure. And then today, I worked all day. I worked from 1 to 5, and then we put on an event, a Christmas party for some of our special needs students, learning disabilities, because we have a ministry for those types, for those students, and wonderful teachers and catechists and volunteers and parents and alumni. So that was beautiful. And then I went to Mass, played the piano. Then Gail and I went for Japanese food. Then I came back and got ready for my show and got ready for the rest of my work week. So that was my weekend, highlighted by, me missing Saturday night's game. And of all games that I missed, finally the Canucks win by my favorite score of 4-2. It only took 29 games. But now we have the rest of the season where I can make actual score predictions. And what was interesting, and I won't relitigate last night's game because I did that already in this morning stream. Well, by the way, I did 2 morning streams as well. Saturday morning to recap the Friday night game, then this morning to recap last night's game. And last night's game was different than the Friday night game in that actually Minnesota held the balance of the play, yet Vancouver won. But we were, of course, Elias Pettersson was a late game day decision, game time scratch. Upper body injury, did an MRI today. I don't think we heard anything yet. Maybe we'll hear something tomorrow. And then it was youngsters, Ratu with 3 points. Nikita Tolopil with 28 saves. And then Tom Villander with a goal and assist, including his first ever NHL goal. And then DPD also with a goal. So a lot of youngsters played really well last night, and it was great. So the Canucks split their weekend back-to-back against their Central Division. They lose to Utah in the game that they were better, and then they beat Minnesota in a game where you could argue Minnesota was a bit better. Not by much, but at least the fancy stats say that. So I mentioned this in this morning too, is for those people that, and I remember, I don't tell people how to cheer for this team, but for those people that want the Canucks to tank and to lose, they're simply, even with their shortcomings, they got a lot of talented, hardworking players who want to win. So you're going to get performances like the weekend where they're actually pretty good and they end up splitting. And for those people that want them to win because they pay good money and they want to see the guys succeed, then you're probably happy with the results for the weekend as well. So interesting. Everyone has a different take. Everyone has a different place where they're coming from, but that's what makes fandom, because you can cheer for the team however you want to. So really quickly, deserve versus outcome metric stays balanced. Yeah, today, this weekend it did 1-1. Sports media is there for a reason. Each person is unique in their own way and have the right to voice their opinions. AI won't have the human touch. That is a great point. And the legend, Carol Bovelander, back to her roots, starts us off with the first dono of the night. So thank you to legendary Carol Bovelander. Hi, Clay. I want to take this opportunity to wish you and your family a very wonderful Christmas and a wonderful New Year. Thank you, Carol. Same to you. I know we'll chat a couple times before then, but let's give legendary Carol Bovelander, the original legend. Well, her and Lucas were the original legends, and Andrew, I should say. Let's give Carol some love in the chat. Thank you, Carol, for getting the donation train out of the station. And I think... no problem. Irvin missed the claims this weekend. Yeah, no problem. Because you probably work hard really Friday, Saturday, or you play or whatever. And I saw Lucas. I did see Lucas at the game as well. Lucas tried to help us getting a sweatshirt, but ended up buying online, Lucas. So I bought Gil one of the Filipino Heritage sweatshirts, and then I got a t-shirt because we both didn't need the hoodie. Yes, I did see you. Nice to see you, Lucas, as well. Then Carol donates twice. So we're going to give her a different dono drop.
3, 2, 1.
Carol doubles her $5 donation, but says the exact same thing. Hi, Clay. I want to take this opportunity to wish you and your family a very wonderful Christmas and a wonderful New Year. Thank you, Carol, once again. Repetition is good. It's not over communication. So thank you. Thank you for the second donation. And let's give Carol some love in the chat once again. Canucks and Golden Eyes win on the same day. That's true. We're already going for a second wave of orders. That makes a lot of sense. That's awesome, Lucas. Okay, so that's the Canucks on the ice. Again, not going to recap the game because that's what the morning streams are for, especially on nights like Friday, Saturday when I don't do an evening stream. You can always go watch those streams for the commentary on the games. What I want to talk about is Quinn Hughes. Now, there's so many angles, so I'm going to kind of lay out where we're at with everything with him right now. And then I'm going to give you guys a lot of time to speak into where we are with Quinn. We knew coming into the season that this was going to be the story. Hey, Landon, this was going to be the story. Hey, Justin. This was going to be the story of the season leading up to July 1st. Now, remember, Quinn is under contract for one more year next season. But you can engage in contract extension talks as soon as your last year starts. So his contract runs July 1 to June 30, 2027. It'll expire. So that means on July 1, 2026, you can actually start. Offering him a contract. And of course, he's not supposed to talk to other teams until his contract ends. So that's the advantage of him being your own UFA, unrestricted free agent, is you have a whole year to talk to Quinn first. So that's the built-in inherent advantage of negotiating with your own UFA, because you get a 1-year head start. And up until now, you could offer your own UFA an 8-year contract extension, where other teams could only offer 7 years. But the CBA is going to change. We're now, and it will change on September 15th, 2026. So next September, where those limits get reduced by a year. You can only offer 7 years to your own free agent, and other teams can only offer 6. Instead of 8 and 7, it is 7 and 6, or 6-7. There, I got to get it in one tonight. I can't believe I just did that. But because the CBA is changing next season, and they're giving a grace period, or maybe it's just the date they negotiated, September 15th, so it's closer to the start of the season. Now, stick with me here. The Canucks have a unique opportunity. They get to offer Quinn Hughes an 8-year deal, which they would have been able to do July 1st, and they can still do that all the way until September the 15th, when the new CBA kicks in, and then they have to drop down to 7. Got me so far? But because other teams cannot offer Quinn Hughes a contract offer until the end of his contract on June 30th, basically July 1st, 2027, and the new rules kick in on September 15th, 2026, if you follow me, that means teams can only offer Quinn Hughes a 6-year deal on July 1st, 2027. So the Canucks can offer Quinn Hughes an 8-year deal, old rules, from July 1st until September 15th, 2026. And then only if he gets the free agency on July 1st, 2027, then other teams can offer him a deal, but it's only 6 years. So there's a 2-year advantage for the Canucks baked in, because Quinn Hughes is their property. Everyone got me so far? I think I explained that pretty well, right? Not only can the Canucks offer 2 more years than any other team, but obviously that's 2 more years of mega money. So you could offer him 16 million, 17 million, 18 million, 19 or 20 million dollars a year times 2. Because remember, you can do an 8-year contract offer where other teams can only do 6. So in the simplest example, let's just use $20 million a season. It's probably not going to be that high. It'll probably be somewhere at 17, 18. But let's use $20 million for now. The Canucks can offer Quinn Hughes 8 times $20 million, $160 million offer on July 1st, 2026. That would kick in on July 1st, 2027. 8 times 20, 160. Whereas a team like, if there's no trade, New York, New Jersey, Detroit, whoever, they can only offer him 6 years at $20 million a year. So the Canucks would offer him 8 times 20, 160. Another team, let's say New Jersey, if they can't trade for him first, offer him 6 times 20, 120. That's a $40 million difference. $40 million. Now, maybe, I can't speak for Quinn Hughes. I can't speak for any professional athlete. $40 million, maybe, like for a soccer player or baseball or a football player, NBA player, that's like a drop in the bucket. A big drop in the bucket. It's still a drop in the bucket compared to how big those salaries are. The NHL, their salaries are a little bit more limited, but it's still $40 million. Like $40 million. I'm not going to make $40 million in my life. I'm not going to even make $4 million in my life. Maybe 400,000. Yeah, but not $4 million. So would Quinn Hughes walk away from that type of money? And of course he could. He might not like the direction of the team. He might not like his coaching, the management, his teammates, the future, the outlook, whatever. Or the desire to play with his brothers, for instance, might be so large. I don't know this, but might be so large that money can't change a thing. But I'm just laying out to you the difference in 8 years versus 6 years, $18 to $20 million a year. That is, yeah, great point, Swerve and Irvin. $40 million is, for some NHL players, a whole career's worth. And then Quinn is could make a decision where he's walking away from $40 million. You know, I might get to $40 million if Dino continues with his generosity. Another massive donation from Dino and Mother Mena. Dino with the dono. Dino and Mother Mena with a big $28 donation. Let's give Dino some love in the chat. Thank you, Dino. Now, I saw the first one, RSA. I was getting to it. RSA has brought up twice now that he can do a sign and trade. Yes. You can technically sign 8 years with the Canucks and then get traded by the Canucks. I just don't see that happening in this case, though, for sure. But yes, you are correct. You are correct. So that's the 8-year versus 6-year, not loophole, the advantage that the Canucks have that I wanted to share with you. Now, before we get into the latest rumors, and you know, I don't like to make videos about rumors. I know it's easy views, to be honest with you, but if I do those type of videos, I want to make sure that there's a reason to do them aside from just clickbait or easy views. But I think everyone would agree that the captain of our team, the future of the captain of our team is big news and is worth talking about. So that's why I'm dedicating this show to that for sure. Now, before I talk about the final, not the final, before I talk about options and potential, destinations for Quinn if he gets traded, I want to again remind you of some of the key dates and leverage points for the Canucks and Quinn Hughes. So again, remember, July 1, 2026, we can offer him a contract extension exclusively. Like we're the only ones that can do that for a year. And if we can't sign him, then July 1st, 2027, he becomes a free agent. Now, there are some leverage points that are different here. Some would say that the Canucks would get the most value for Quinn if you trade him anytime between now and the 2026 trade deadline, because whoever trades for Quinn Hughes gets Quinn Hughes for 2 playoff runs, the end of this season and next season, at that amazing salary that Quinn's at $7.85 million for the rest of this season and next season. So again, some would say that is the best leverage point. You get the most in return if you trade him before this year's trade deadline. But imagine if the Canucks are still in a playoff chase. I'm not saying they're going to be, but if they are, you can bet that ownership won't want to trade Quinn because they want him for a playoff run. Imagine if the Canucks are somehow in a playoff spot already, then they're not going to trade him. And then because you can still trade him anytime after the trade deadline as well, in terms of next season. So then do you look at trading as rights at the draft? I don't know if this is a good draft, mind you, but I don't know if you do that as part of a package to get into the top 5 or top 10. That doesn't make sense to me. And then right after the draft is July 1st. So if you kind of have Quinn Hughes, if you haven't traded him in the offseason, May, June, then you hold on to him until July 1st so you can at least put that offer in front of him. So at least you can put that offer in front of him. Again, I said 8 times 20. And then if he doesn't take it, then you have that whole year up to the trade deadline to trade him, because you certainly aren't going to not trade him, hope to re-sign him if it gives an indication that he's not going to come, and then you're letting the best player in franchise history walk away from nothing. So for nothing. I'm sure that's not going to happen. So those are some of the pressure points that people bring up when they think about what could happen with Quinn. And those are all fine and dandy. So let's talk about the recent rumors. Before I get to the No, let's go to the Devils one first. So Elliotte Friedman, just before the Canucks started their game last night, and I didn't watch last night. I was at that dinner and magic show, but then I read about it later. Elliotte Friedman said, he didn't say it was confirmed or that there's a deal in the works. He said that the Devils are among many teams that have expressed interest, at least talking to the Canucks about Quinn Hughes. And we shouldn't get surprised if any team picks up the phone and calls Jim Rutherford, because Jim Rutherford was the one who reached out to all 31 teams 2 Mondays ago and said, hey, some of our veterans, we're open for business, especially our UFA veterans. Now, open for business, does that mean Quinn Hughes? At the time, people were saying, no, that doesn't involve Hughes or Hronik. But if you're an opposing GM and you're talking about Evander Kane or Teddy Bluger or Derek Forbort or any of those guys, aren't you, while you got Jim Rutherford on the phone, aren't you as well, Kiefer Sherwood as well, of course, aren't you asking, just saying, hey, what are your thoughts on Quinn? Any chance? Whatever it may be. Of course you are. Of course you are. So Elliotte Friedman basically said that the Devils have initiated talks with the Canucks over Quinn Hughes. It doesn't mean a deal's around the corner. It doesn't mean that a deal is going to be done. It doesn't mean a deal is not going to be done. But what was interesting is, and I talked about this at length in my Clay-M this morning, is Thomas Drance actually asked Quinn Hughes in the middle of the media scrum. And they were just talking about how well the Canucks played. It was great to see the young guys play. And then boom, Thomas Drance just asked him about it. Quinn Hughes, to his credit, answered it very openly and directly, and he didn't get upset and he didn't avoid the question. I know some fans are like, that's fine. It's all fair and game. It's the biggest story here. And Quinn Hughes was talking. Thomas Drance asked it in a very respectful way. Fair, no harm, no foul. Others would say that is a bad time to ask him. Ask him about the game. Ask him about his performance. But you can talk about trade stuff at any other media availability for sure. Hey, Jazz. I like that. The Canucks might do better trading Hughes to a team like San Jose, Smith, Eklund, Dickinson, or Anaheim, Seneke, Gauthier, Mintikov. And New Jersey might lowball us with Nemec, Mercer, and 2 firsts. Yeah, it's so hard to say, right? It's so hard to say. Yeah, and Sarah, that's exactly what I'm going to get to. My heart dropped when he called him by Fitz. Are they really that close? So, after Thomas Drance asked Quinn Hughes if he had any reaction, Quinn Hughes says this: it's not like me, Jim, and Fitzy hopped on a call. I wasn't part of that. But obviously, I'm aware that things like that could happen. It's not like me, Jim, and Fitzy hopped on a call. Jim being Jim Rutherford, Fitzy being general manager Tom Fitzgerald of the New Jersey Devils. Why is he calling the New Jersey Devils general manager a nickname, granted a hockey nickname, Fitzy, right? You just add a Y to a lot of these guys' names. But why is he calling him Fitzy? He didn't call Jim Jimmy or Ruthy or Fordy or Jimmy Rutherfordy. He didn't say anything like that. He said Jim. He's never called him anything else than Jim. And he said Fitzy. No, I'm being serious. This Fitzy comment has put Canucks in fits. That's what I kept saying this morning. And I don't worry that this is a silver bullet that this means for sure. Bank on it. Quinn Hughes going to New Jersey. I just found it kind of interesting, and it certainly didn't. I think Canucks fans, especially Quinn Hughes fans, are very hypersensitive to just about anything right now. He could have said anything. He could have dipped his voice by a decibel or two. He could have raised his voice by half a pitch, and everyone, what is it? He got so excited when he talked about New Jersey. He got so excited when he thought about Tom Fitzgerald. No, he just called him Fitzy because that's probably what he calls him. But it was pretty funny that came out. That came out yesterday. What bothers me is the lack of any public declaration of loyalty to Vancouver, or I love being a Canuck, or I love Vancouver from our captain. His lack of public signs of wanting to be here bothers me. That's fair. Do you guys agree with Honorable James Moore? You like to hear him say, I love being in Vancouver. I love... yes, he hasn't used those words. He's talked about his desire to win. That he has talked about it, that he loves the city. He loves playing in Canadian city. But you're right. There's no outcries like, I absolutely want to be here. At least not yet. There you go. Canucks Nation getting into a Fitzy. Now, add New Jersey to the list of teams that have been rumored to call Rutherford about Quinn Hughes. And again, I don't blame any of the 31 teams for calling. You should. This is the second best player in the entire NHL. Leadership material as a captain. Why wouldn't you want him on your team? And of course, the things that are going to have to happen is the teams that want to go after him will have to have the salary cap space to do so, right? You're adding an $8 million player for this year, next year, if it happens this year, or at least next year. Then you're going to try and offer him a massive deal once that ends. And you obviously have to have assets that come back the other way. And I've heard everything from 4 to 5 assets, like a center, a young defenseman, and then a combination of 2 or 3 picks and prospects. Now, I don't know. I know New Jersey, when we talk about that, we're talking about Nemec. You got Mercer as your forward. Is Mercer a forward, winger, or center? You got Nemec as a defenseman and 2 first-round picks. Yeah, that doesn't seem as strong when you think about it. Then Detroit. And it's funny, the Canucks are playing Detroit on Monday, tomorrow. I'm going to that game, by the way. And I'm actually going with Kevin. And Kevin, I've never met Kevin. I can't wait to meet Kevin. Kevin won this during my 24-hour live stream. So I'm going to a game tomorrow night with someone that I've never, ever met. So Kevin, I'm not sure if you're watching right now, but yes, Kevin and I are going to the Red Wings game. And if you want to say hi to Kevin and me, I'll drag him out there, section 316 in the first intermission. If you're going to the game tomorrow, let's meet up at the first intermission outside of section 316. Okay, I digress. Back to the Detroit Red Wings, who are playing tomorrow. They, of course, have center. They have the 7th best power play in the NHL, but they could do even better with Quinn Hughes. We know Quinn Hughes is played at Michigan. I had something up that I was going to read you guys, but now I can't find it. Yeah, Red Wings. They have center Nate Danielson, who was drafted. I think was he 6th overall. 6th overall in. Let me just find out. Yeah, Danielson went 9th overall in 2023. Sorry, the same year that the Canucks got Verlander 2 picks later. He's a 3rd-line center right now. He has 5 points in 14 games. But yeah, Danielson will probably be part of a package coming back. I don't know who else. I actually don't know a lot about the Red Wings roster. Maybe you guys could tell me. But yeah, if they're looking like a center line, a 2 center and a D, the centers obviously could be Nate Danielson. And then we know that, Hughes has a connection to Detroit, to the Michigan area for sure. Now, so there's Devils, the Red Wings. The other team that we've heard linked to Hughes is the Flyers. Rick Tocchet obviously knows a lot about Quinn Hughes. It sounds like Quinn Hughes really likes Rick Tocchet. And then I'm trying to think of who Philly has now. I don't think that Philly is so on D. It would probably be Drysdale or Cam York, one of those 2 guys. And then up front, they're not obviously they're not going to get rid of Michkov, but they have Porter Martoni. They have Tyson Forster. I've heard that Martoni or is it Martone? That guy, Porter, not Parker, Porter. They probably won't want to part with him, but you're gonna have to make some tough decisions anyway. So just when you start to hear potential trade partners, you got to think: do they have salary cap space, or will they have to jettison a player of some sort to do that? And you know what the Canucks need? They'll want a young defenseman back. They'll maybe want a 2nd-line center, and they'll want a combination of picks and prospects. So there's all that to think about for sure. I believe the CBA means only the team with Hughes contract before September 26th can sign him for 8. It becomes 6 years. Yes. Oh, and it becomes 6. You mean someone else? Sorry, Jazz, are you agreeing with what I said, or are you pointing out something that I said wrong? I'm not sure the way you worded that last sentence. And it becomes 6 years. Do you mean that teams can only offer 6 years, not 7? I think that's what I said. Unless I said it is Bartone. Thank you. not Bartoni. Yeah, Jazz, let me know if you're agreeing with what I said or if you're correcting something that I said. But regardless, I want to throw that all out there. I want to throw, after we got through the Canucks' decent performance over the weekend, the fact that Quinn Hughes' name was in the news, wanted to point out the 8-year versus 6-year, the huge advantage the Canucks have, that leverage. Then I wanted to talk about different leverage points throughout different deadlines. And then, of course, the fact that New Jersey, Detroit, and Philly, among others, are interested in him. So want to throw it over to you, Mitchell Sponsory. Get all your comments about Quinn Hughes, about the Canucks, whatever you want. But I will start off by thanking my primary sponsor. And that, of course, is Jason Lim of Van City Experts. Thank you to my channel sponsor, Jason Lim of Van City Experts Real Estate. At Van City Experts, their experience, knowledge, and expertise can serve you well in navigating through the real estate market and will help you to choose the best home or condo in the greater Vancouver area that best suits your and your family's needs. Thank you to my secondary sponsors. The first one is Gassy Jack Art. You can check them out at gassyjackart.com. Jack makes the wonderful artwork that you see in my home studio. Mulligan Golf Company, mlgngolf.com, golfing, apparel, and accessories. And my supporting sponsor, Vessi Footwear. Use the link tinyurl.com/VessiClay and receive a free pair of socks off your next purchase of Vessi shoes. Thanks to everyone who's purchased Canuck Clay merch. You can do so at canuckclay.threadless.com. Reminder how you get involved tonight. Subscribe, like the video, leave a donation, gift a membership, buy your own membership, upgrade your membership, use your monthly membership message. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, you can rate and review. Wait a sec. Did I say gift a membership? How about if I gift 5 memberships? Yeah. Why don't I do that right now? So, shout out to Canuck Clay, who gifts 5 memberships, 5 franchise memberships to the Canuck Clay channel.
And he got it! Who do you think you are? I am!
So remember, I have no choice over who. It would be hard if I had choice over who gets the membership, because then I don't want you guys to accuse me of favoritism. YouTube does it according to algorithm, according to people get involved in the chat, whatever it may be. So welcome to franchise membership, Dave Everett, Bruce, Paragolf Pro, Trippy Gypsy, and Philly Tingles. That name's interesting. So welcome to all 5 of you. Welcome to franchise membership. Happy to have all you here and joining, and good timing because of something I'm going to get to in a second. So welcome to the 5 of you. Welcome to franchise membership. Speaking of franchise membership, or at least members, here are my shows this week. This is a long one. I have to go up here so I can look over the banner. Tomorrow, I'm going to the game. So we're starting Canucks After Dark 15 minutes late so I can get to at least my office. There's no way I'm going to make it home to Richmond in time. So 10:15, there I'll go like this. Canucks After Dark, me and Parker. Then because I'll be at my office, I got to get home. So no CCC tomorrow night. And I feel fine doing that because you just have to come to mine and Parker's show at 10:15 Canucks After Dark. Then on Tuesday, I will do a Clay M Canucks commentary, Clay in the AM, Clay M at 7:45, wrapping up the Canucks Red Wings game and then my impressions of the game. Then Tuesday, 11 o'clock, after my last night of bowling, I'll do a member stream. Member stream Tuesday night. CCC open mic Wednesday night. CCC post game Thursday night after the Canucks take on Buffalo. And then Clay M Friday morning at 7:45 after the Canucks take on Buffalo. So a lot of shows this week, at least something every night, every day or every night. But tomorrow, just Canucks After Dark at 10:15. So make sure you join Parker and me there. Unless the Canucks do something absolutely crazy during the game, then maybe I'll pop on for half an hour from my office before I go home. We'll see. But best to go to Canucks After Dark to be safe. All right, I'm looking at the leaderboard right now. Dino is ahead, 1125 points because of that big donation. Carol Bovlander is second place because of her donation. Then we have Fangirl and Irvin tied for third at 150, Simon at 125, and Gerald at 100. Then a bunch of people at 75. So You can keep those donations coming if you want to, but otherwise, thank you to everyone for your generosity so far. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Justin says. Canuck Clay hype, so generous, and no self shout out needed either. Yeah, no, I like giving myself the self shout out. Maybe one Vancouver want him to leave, so they don't want to plan very much, so he can go to the east. They don't have to see Hughes. So now be much better to the Eastern opinion. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying, Simon. But I think you pay the man whatever he wants if he stays here. Hughes takes warm up and gets pulled. That's kind of crazy. Why? Is that going to happen? Did you see that happen? What's going on? Tell me, Justin. I'm so confused. Did that happen? With Lecker in the AHL, is that a sign that Höglander could be in the lineup tomorrow? Oh, I never thought about that actually. If Lecker going down to the A, it could also mean that PD's healthy. Yeah, actually, it could mean a lot of things. Or we could see a call up tomorrow. They want Lecker because they got a lot of right wingers now, right? Between Besser, Garland, and Sherwood, at least in the top 9. So maybe there's no spot for Lecker in the top 9. Maybe PD's not hurt. Maybe Neil Zaman gets called up. We'll see. That's a good question. We'll see tomorrow. Hey, Harry, with all the trade speculation, do you think Cutter Gauthier would be a good... Yes, I think he'd be awesome. I really like him. He'd be great on this team. But he's got a lot more got to come back, right? Any team that still has players right and signs before September 15 can offer an 8-year contract, but would he want to be tied down that long? McDavid wouldn't sign another 8-year term. So any team that still has a player's rights and signs before September 15 can offer an 8-year contract. Okay. So that's what I said, right? Or at least that doesn't contradict what I said, I think. What's your score prediction for tomorrow's game and against the Red Wings, and who scores? Okay. So now I don't have to go with 4-2, right? So I'm going to go 4-3. I think the Canucks will win 4-3, and I say Brock scores first. Can I actually give Lankinen a game, then switch to Tolo next game, keep it even? Yeah, if they're alternating, it is technically Lankinen's turn. I think the question is, would Quinn want to take playing time away from Luke? Would assume Team USA would suffice. Yeah, you're right. They're both... Yeah, but I think Luke would be okay with it if that means he's playing with his brother for the next 6 to 8 years, and New Jersey's a powerhouse. How about those Ducks? Are they for real this year? Still hard to see them at the top of the division. Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. I was supposed to do this. Look very quickly at the scores from tonight's. So Avalanche continue to win. They beat the Flyers. Panthers beat the Islanders. Islanders been really good. Sharks, what the heck? They beat the Hurricanes. Stars beat Pittsburgh. St. Louis beats Montreal. Montreal beat Toronto last night. Never mind. Vegas beat the Rangers. Did it feel like they just played? Capitals shut out the Blue Jackets, and the Ducks pumped 7 on Nick's favorite team, the Blackhawks. So you look at the standings now, and then wild card for the Canucks. Oh, good. It's still only 6 points. And it's kind of like the point I made earlier this morning is I think if it's 6 points or less, to me, that's still within striking distance. As soon as it gets to 7 points or more, I feel it's a little bit harder. I don't know, maybe because I just think 6 points is only 3 games, even though there's 6 teams to pass. But I don't know, 6 points or fewer sounds like it's a manageable difference. But that's what it is right now. And then in the division, the Canucks, of course, at the bottom of that division, and Edmonton and San Jose are right at the wild card cutoff right now at 31 points. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to what your questions. How about, they had to postpone Lecker public signing at Cap Mall today because he was sent down. Oh, hey, Alistair, I didn't know that it was supposed to be today. That makes sense. That's what you said, just to clarify for Joe. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. It's clear cut between Luke and Quinn. No coach would play Luke over Quinn. Yes, for sure. I don't think anyone was saying that. But, yeah, kind of a tough problem to have, right? If you're deciding between Luke and Quinn. Fair to say, Ratu, Carlson, they both showing lots of improvement. I wanted Ratu to get the Hattie. Yeah, he would have, Edmund, if they didn't take his first goal away. Yeah, Carlson's good. I forgot. I should have given him more love in my stream this morning. He's a big body, good hands, not afraid to dig in the corners, not afraid to go to the net. I think he's gonna be good. He's trending that way. And Ratu, want to see more, but last night was a good start. I would start Tolopil tomorrow. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Are you confident with Team Canada's goalies? No. Considering the goaltending matchup was different now with the injured goalies in the NHL season, that would have been on Team USA. That's true. Hollaback is hurt. Demko, outside chance, he's hurt, but Hollaback is the big one. And for Canada, is it Binnington? He's had a sucky year. Montembeault hasn't had a great year. I like Logan Thompson, but he's at odds with Team Canada brass, so who knows who it's going to be. I really like Tolopil. He's very good. I do too. Gerald makes a good point, but one could argue that Quinn is dynamic enough that you could have both he and Luke on a power play unit. Yeah, one of them just becomes like a rover. Ducks need a backup goalie without the stall. I don't think GL finished. Do you think the Canucks will put Tolopil in net starting tomorrow? You know, if you go on merit and results, it should be him, right? But do you risk getting Lankinen mad? I don't know if that's the right term. I think Ducks won't be able to stay atop. Still too young, and the run and gun isn't stable. Goaltending isn't consistent either. Yeah, they're fun to watch, but yeah, let's see where they are when the playoffs start. Just got back to California last night. I was up in the sky still flying when the Canucks game was going on, missing out on the win. Me too. You were flying. I was watching magic, but glad you got home safely. Adam Tash, hey. Personally, Kevin Lank led in easy ones. Tolopil is better. Should be our number one while Demko's injured. He's playing that way. Isn't he 2-1 now? Isn't he 2-1? Siamese Dreams. Hey, Clay, long time. Have you been going to any of the games this year? And if so, how's the atmosphere? Yeah, I've been going to quite a few. I'll be going to 3 of these 4 right now. Like I went Friday and didn't go yesterday, but I will be going tomorrow and Thursday. You know, the Utah game was an exception because there are a lot of Filipinos in the crowd celebrating Filipino Heritage Night. They just wanted something to cheer for, and there wasn't a lot to cheer for. I think the crowds have been okay, but certainly nothing compared to the playoff run 2 years ago. Nothing compared to back in 2011. Not that that's a fair comparison, but I do sense a small bit of apathy. Canucks fans still want to cheer goals. They still want to see their favorite players do well. They still want to see them win for the most part, but we haven't seen a lot of that. So I feel a bit of apathy settling in. There's a lot more empty seats that I notice now. They can say they sold out, but if everyone shows up to the games, that's another thing. And then I do think that, you know, I heard booing at the end of the Utah game, which actually I didn't agree with because the Canucks played well, but the result wasn't great. So yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit of shift in the atmosphere. Great question. Great question. Their top 2 goalies are hurt at the moment, but their forward mix is so exciting to watch. I watched a bit of the game tonight. They were on pace for 60 shots at one point, 39-8. They do have some really good forwards for sure. It was a good game. I watched part of it last night at my work's Christmas party at the golf club bar. Nice. Tolo could use more seasoning, but future looks good. Yep. Ducks may have young players, but they get a bunch of vets too now. Yeah, Ducks could be a good team. If Sherwood gets traded, which destination do you think he would be traded to? Any playoff team, aspiring playoff team would be happy to have him. I don't know. I don't know who needs a right winger. I really don't know, but I do think he will get traded for sure. Quinn is lefty and Lucas righty. Yes, but that still what we're talking about is power play time, Jay, and most teams only have 1 defenseman on the power play. Are you concerned about player safety with the rink in Italy being around 4 inches shorter? Yeah, you know, we might say, what's the deal? What's the big deal? But I think every inch matters. And yeah, am I worried about player safety? No, I'm more worried just about how it affects the game a little bit. But you're right. There might be a guy in someone's grill that you're not expecting to be there. Who knows? That's kind of interesting. What would you set the over under? How many years it would take the Canucks to be competitive again with Quinn and without Quinn? With Quinn, I'd say 1.5 because in 2 years there's gonna be a lot of these players, young players, are gonna be really, really good. Coots might be on the team. You know, who knows about PD, like where he'll be at. But Verlander and DPD will probably be playing top 4 minutes. So yeah, maybe 1.5 or 2.5. Without Quinn, that goes up to me to about 4.5 is the over under. Vegas. Oh, I didn't know Stone's back. My least favorite food. Good question. I I'm not a big fan of Chinese food. And I didn't hesitate because I think I'm gonna get half of my audience mad at me because I am half Chinese, but it's Gail says it's funny that I always say about hating Chinese food, but when I'm actually at a restaurant, especially when it's good, that she says I eat a lot. So I don't mind Chinese food, but it'll never be the top of my list. So my least favorite food, yeah, I'm not into like spicy food either. I can do a little bit, but not a lot. So I guess the worst combination would be spicy Chinese food. Nikita needs some more seasoning, but definitely not in the number one. Yep. Wasn't our members one-on-one Zoom chats supposed to be this week? Yeah, that's a great... so yes, they were. That was my original plan. But then I realized that this week I have plans on every single night. I'm going to the game tomorrow. I have bowling on Tuesday. I have church on Wednesday. I'm going to the game on Thursday. Then I'm going to see my goddaughter on Friday. And I'm going to a wedding on Saturday. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to push it by a week. Start it on... I'm glad you reminded me, Fangirl. Start it on Sunday the 14th. And then, because Monday the 15th, I have the night free. Tuesday the 16th, I'll have the night free after Canucks Rangers because I have no bowling. And then Thursday the 18th, I'll be free as well. So yeah, I actually think that I'll be moving. I'm glad you brought that up. Maybe I'll send a note to all Legends and Hall of Fame members that it won't be this week. It'll be next week. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder, Fangirl. Appreciate that. No coach plays 2 D-men on PP1 anymore. Pitt did it for a while earlier this year. So did Panthers. Yes. With Quinn 4 years, without Quinn 6. Okay. Tolo is 2-1. That's what I thought. I'm flying out to Anaheim in about 8 hours. Hard to say how many shows I'll be able to catch. No problem, Irvin. You do what you need to do. That's good. That's another good reason why that I'm moving the Zoom chats to next week, not this week. But yeah, too bad. You'll be passing Sean and Jake in the air maybe as they come home. What's your prediction for the Olympic rosters? No, Simon, that is way too long to do with when I'm trying to wrap up a show. But I will dedicate a couple shows to Olympic roster predictions for sure. Do you think Garland and Sherwood lost their confidence in scoring this season compared to last season? No. Sherwood started the season off so hot. No, I do not think they've lost their confidence. I like Siamese Dreams Pedro profile picture. I have to go back and look at it. Tolo's only loss was San Jose. Should have been in overtime. I think the Utah booings for the lack of shots after they pulled their goalie. Yeah, who knows? Who knows, right? I just feel like Sherwood is gone 100%. I agree. But Albany is waiting for the right deal. I agree. Some team will cave and give you the first round pick or prospect, second, third round pick. Well, I definitely want a first for Sherwood for sure. I don't even know what I said to make you type in this, Garrett. I missed the Olympic wing. Yeah, those are big. They look like so much space, right? Luke shoots left-handed, but plays on the right side. Is that what it is? Mammoth game was rough, but they definitely had good effort. Yeah, they did. They did. Yeah, Mancini, I'm not as high on him as Villander, but he could be good depth. I'm not convinced that Mancini will be an NHL regular. Seen flashes though for sure. Oh yeah, okay, 4 feet shorter. Sorry, I can't believe I said 4 inches. 4 feet is a huge difference. That's like a person. Well, yeah, and with their wingspan, that's a huge difference. Yeah, I can't believe I said 4 inches. That would make 4 feet though for sure. Boston, Lindholm, Geeky, Pasternak, Zaka, Garland, Sherwood, Minton with Arvidsson, and Jeannot. Pretty deep and rough top. Oh, interesting. I prefer Japanese food over Chinese food, and I'm Chinese. Carter Hart got injured. Some fans are making very distasteful jokes about him, like leave him alone. Yeah, not going to go there. I will derive nothing positive by speaking about that situation because I'm going to make someone mad no matter what. How's your hockey pool going? Oh, by the way, so winning my mom's work won, second place in my church keeper won, and then like 5th place in my church auction pool. And then I won. I know the most annoying thing is when people talk about their fantasy football teams, but it's funny. On my 2 fantasy football teams, I won one league. Today was the last day of regular season, so I won with the 11-3 record. And then my other one, I think I came in last in the 4-10 record. Oh, your flight's at 10 p.m. Wow. Yeah, 4 feet shorter, not 4 inches. Yes, thank you. Bowling on Friday. Nice. I like Japanese style hot pot, sukiyaki. I'm not a fan of like the big way type hot pot. Quinn is a Michigan boy. Cincinnati, Michael Casper, Nate Danielson, Sandine Pelika, and a first round pick for us. Yeah, Danielson would be good. Would they do Danielson and Casper? Okay. Do you think we'll play good? I sure hope so. I do golf. I'm not good, but I love being out there. Mulligan Golf Company is one of my sponsors. Make sure you check them out. Do you golf at all? Yeah, we could do that. Let's do that in the spring for sure. How are the morning shows going? Are you seeing an uplift in new viewership like you were hoping? Great question, Ryan. They're going well. They're doing two things. They're I wouldn't say they haven't grown my channel. I haven't seen a spike in subs. The views have been okay. They haven't been great. The Sunday shows do better than the Saturday shows. And then I didn't do a weekday show this week. I am seeing different people. So if one of the motivations was to get different people on the stream, that part has worked. But I see also a lot of people like you, people that are here tonight, they'll be on in the mornings as well. And that's fine too. Familiarity is fine. But I definitely see some new people or people overseas or different time zones on the morning shows. And some even local people, this is too late for them, or they're just simply the morning works better for them. So thank you for asking. So the viewership subs haven't gone up, but I think it's still establishing the presence. I'm going to do it throughout December and then kind of make a informed, wise decision about their future by the end of this year. They need to trade Sherwood yesterday. Well, then they're late. Problem for Olympics is the arena isn't even close to finishing. Will there be Olympic hockey? I hope so. Thoughts on the talks of Team Canada debating one spot in Olympic team to be Bedard or Wilson? Well, I know who I'd pick, and it's not Wilson. Tyler, you got to move Sherwood because his contract expires at the end of the season, and there's no way. I don't believe the Canucks to be interested in signing Sherwood for what he could command on the open market. On another note, I hope the Canucks get to take part in another outdoor game. Do-over after the Heritage Classic. Yes, Luongo's last game with us. Any update on number 40 for Vancouver Canucks? Nope, didn't hear anything today, so hopefully tomorrow. Disney all the way. Doing Disney in Florida and Cali. What? You're doing both? Amazing. Winning is a good environment for the younger players. Ratu, Villander, they don't want to tank. Yes, I agree with that. Yes, about Sherwood as a UFA. Close. I'm 4'9". Oh, you mean close to the 4 feet? Say Vancouver didn't make the playoffs. Who do you like in the Western Conference to do well? Well, I'm not sure if they're going to do well, but Winnipeg is my second favorite team, and Colorado is my third. So Colorado will be just fine. Do I think the Canucks will make a trade in the next month? My gut feeling is no. Kind of late to say it, but my YouTube wrapped. You were my number one watch YouTube channel. Thank you. Sarah, I appreciate that. Edmund Yan posted about that on his Instagram. Tyler Gibbs, the line change, also posted about it. I was number one on both of those. And there was someone else I saw that I was on number one. So I'm very grateful. You know, I know there's a lot of options out there to watch on YouTube, and the fact that I'm your number one, I am so grateful for that. Thank you, Sarah. Still a chance we make the playoffs, but it's early and it's not looking good. I agree. I'm Chinese and I eat it every day, so not my number one pick when I eat out. What player are you looking forward to most seeing play for Team Canada? Honestly, it's McDavid, McKinnon, McCarr. I love cheering so hard for them when it's in the international play. No indications that the Canucks are going to play 600 plus hockey anytime soon. I agree. Billiards, yes, not very good. Darts, I enjoy it, also not very good. I just suffered my first fantasy loss of the season after 9 weeks, lost by 1.7 because I benched Carlson over Robertson and Hintz, but I trailed by as much as 25 midweek. Oh, that's impressive. Your first loss. Yeah, and he deserves to make as much as he can, right? Would you consider doing a post-game show again on their network like you did with Steve Dango's network and channel? Yeah, so I did STPN for a year and a half. I did Game Over for a couple years. All really good people, generally very positive experiences in both networks. but I kind of like my freedom and my autonomy, to be honest with you. I'm not doing it for the money, so I'm not looking to get sponsored or to pull in like side pay or whatever. No, I like the freedom and control of having my own show. Great question though. Would a package of Verhaeghe, Mikla, Samoskevich, and 2 first-round picks would be enough for Quinn and Sherwood? I don't think so. I don't think so. Seldom are the big trades before Christmas. Good point. Same, Clay. You're top viewed per my YouTube. Oh, thank you, Fangirl. I appreciate that. I really, really do. If Quinn Hughes is traded, who do you think will fill in for his top first line for D pairing, and who do you think will be well-deserving as captain? I think captain, you go Pedersen, Besser, or Myers, because I think those are the A's, right? And then I think, no, everyone just slides up. So it'll be Marcus Pedersen would be number 1. DP to be number 2. Forbert, if he's healthy, would be number 3. Or P.O. Joseph or Kudryavtsev. I don't think we are tanking. We're not bad enough. I agree with that. Nice to see you, Siamese. Thanks for interacting with us. It goes a long way. Anytime. I'll come back anytime. And I'm not sure when the Christmas roster freeze kicks in. We should look that up. I don't know about the Jari trade rumors to Edmonton, but not surprising they're looking for a goalie. All right, friends, I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you. That was a good show. Don't forget, see edits. That is fair. Being your own boss for your own channel gives you more of a creative outlet and freedom. I was curious to hear your input. I haven't done a few of those post-game shows under Network. Thank you. I appreciate that. What would be your stomachs wrapped? Pepsi, sushi, in particular, salmon sashimi, McDonald's, sad to say, egg whites, Italian food. Those would be some of them. Would you rather delete your YouTube channel or eat spicy Chinese food for the rest of your life? It depends, Tom Clancy. You're talking about like every meal has to be spicy Chinese food. I would delete my channel. If it was just spicy Chinese food, kind of semi-regular basis, I would do that. So I didn't delete my channel. Yeah, my wrapped for my Pepsi. I don't want to say this is bad. Depending on the day, I probably drink between half a liter to 2 liters a day. I know it sounds so bad. So even at 1 liter a day, oh my gosh, did I drink 365 liters this year? That's disgusting. Oh my gosh, I just made myself feel horrible. Would you make a bet that Canucks make the playoffs or that Canada win the Olympics? Well, you make more money if the Canucks make the playoffs, but they got to actually make the playoffs. No, I would bet Canada win the Olympics for at least a better chance of some money. Would love to see Mackie Samoskevich as Canuck. Sister Madison is a golden. Oh, I did not know that. Okay, I'm going to wrap up here. Moderators, thank you for keeping this a safe and respectful place. Members, that's a legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovelander, legendary Brian Blingy Choi, legendary Swervin Irvin, legendary Tom Hoglander, and legendary Andrew Chang. Thank you for your support, and thanks to Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. Legends and Hall of Fames, I'll send out an email this week having you sign up for the Zoom chats for next week, not this upcoming week. Thank you, Fango, for the reminder. Thanks to Hall of Fame and franchise members as well. Appreciate your support. And thanks to all of you for watching, liking, and subscribing. On your way out, you can like the video, you can subscribe, you can leave a late donation. Make sure you hit the notification bell too, so you know especially when I'm doing those morning streams, so you can keep track. And thanks to my sponsors, Van City Express Real Estate, Gassy Jack Art, and Mulligan Golf Company. And thanks to everyone who went above and beyond. That is Carol with the double donation of the same thing. That is Dino with the big donation, and that is Canuck Clay gifting the 5 memberships. Remember, tomorrow, Canucks After Dark at 10:15, but likely not my own show, but we will play that one by ear. And then finally, Dino wins with the 1125. Carol is second with 475. Fangirl and Irvin tie with 225, and Simon with 200. There is your top 4 or top 5. All right, friends, you're awesome. I'm awesome. We are all awesome. I'll see you tomorrow night on the Canucks After Dark channel. Parker and me, Canucks After Dark, Canucks versus the Red Wings. If you're going to the game, come hang out with me, section 316, outside of 316 during the first intermission. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Did you know that in high school, I passed all my courses except for Greek, mythology, not mythology. Let's try that again. I passed all my courses in high school except for Greek mythology. Yes, that course has always been my Achilles elbow. My Achilles elbow. God bless. And go Canucks go. Booyah.